Welcome back to the Sunday Serving channel, where you come every week for a dose of inspiration and hope from the gospel. I'm out here at the Hudson River trying to pull in some herring, but all I've been getting is empty nets. Beautiful spring day. Every spring there's a run of bait fish up for the ocean. Herring, shad. There used to be a really lively commercial shad fishery here, but it unfortunately got closed down due to poor numbers. But there's still a lot of herring, except for today. There doesn't seem to be any. And it's not so much that I like pickled herring, but there's big striped bass out in there that come up from the ocean following the herring, and they're fun to pull in. They're good eating too. You know, that reminds me of a story from the gospel about fishing, and it's fitting. It's a week right after Easter, because this story takes place right after Easter. In fact, not only no herring in the net, but broken fishing rods. It's been a trying morning here, but let's check out that story for the gospel, because I think it talks about empty nets and how Jesus can fix anything. So here it is. After Jesus rose from the dead, Gospel of John, chapter 21. I think this was the third time that Jesus showed himself to the disciples. Remember, he had risen from the dead, and he'd said, Go wait for me in Galilee. So the disciples, they all left Jerusalem, and they went up to the Sea of Galilee, Tiberias. It must have been a big lake. It's a beautiful big lake. It's a little bigger than the Hudson River here. And here's how the gospel goes. Afterwards, Jesus appeared again to his disciples by the Sea of Galilee. It happened this way. Simon Peter, Thomas, also known as the twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, I guess that's James and John, and the two other disciples were together. So that's seven disciples were together in Galilee after Jesus died and rose from the dead and appeared to them once already in Jerusalem. So they're there in Galilee. No Jesus, just them, Galilee. I'm going out to go fishing, Simon Peter told them. And they said, well, we'll go with you. So they went out and they got into a boat, but that night they caught nothing. So that's interesting that many of the disciples were fishermen, and Jesus called them, said, leave your nets, drop your nets, and follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men. So what changed here? Well, Jesus was arrested and tried and falsely accused and condemned to death and crucified and died and buried in the tomb, and then rose again. And he told them to go back to Galilee. Imagine what they were feeling. They were still a little bewildered, maybe, even though they were joyful, wondering what to do. So was Peter suggesting going back to their old occupation to catch some fish, to have something to eat, or to make some money? Or was he just bored? Who knows? Or maybe he just wanted to get out on the beautiful lake and go fishing. But whatever it was, they went out all night. I don't know if you've ever fished all night, but I've tried going fishing at night, but lasting all night must be quite something, especially if you don't catch anything. So here they are. They says they fished all night but caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not recognize him. They didn't realize it was Jesus. That often happened when Jesus comes and people don't recognize him right away. The disciples didn't recognize Jesus. Maybe he had hidden his appearance from them, or maybe it was just misty, or they were too far away, or maybe they weren't ready in their hearts to see Jesus. So he called out to them, friends, do you have any fish? No, they answered. He said, throw your net on the right side of the boat and you will find some. And when they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. So that's fascinating. Jesus They didn't know it was Jesus, but he told them, hey, listen, throw the net on the right side of the boat and the other side of the boat. And it says they listened. They did it. They didn't question him. They did it, and all of a sudden, they had this huge catch of fish that they couldn't pull the net in. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." The disciple Jesus loved, that's John, recognized Jesus first. By that miracle, he looked up, he saw Jesus, he understood, he recognized Jesus, and told the others, told Simon Peter, "It is the Lord." As soon as Simon Peter heard him say, "It is the Lord," he wrapped his outer garment around him, for he'd taken it off, and jumped into the water. So Simon Peter was always the first to action. I love that about him. Maybe not the first to understand or to recognize, but once he knew something needed to be done, he saw Jesus out there. John told him it's Jesus. What did he do? He dropped everything. He leapt into the water. He says he put his coat back around him. Maybe he thought he was going to walk on the water, and for the second time it didn't work. I'm not sure. But whatever it was, he couldn't wait. It was too slow to wait for the boat. He jumped in. He swam to Jesus. And it says the other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish, for they were not far from the shore, about 100 yards. Great details here, about 100 yards away. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals, and there was fish on it, and some bread. Isn't that wonderful? Jesus never waited. He was always ready to serve, to be the Lord, to be the servant. And he had a fire ready. He had fish on it. He didn't have to wait for them to fish. He had bread. He had everything ready for them. Jesus is everything ready for you, for me. Fish, bread, a fire. But he told them, in spite of that, he said, "Bring some fish you've just caught." So again, Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish, 153. But even with so many, the net was not torn. I love all these details in here. Okay, it could have just said it's full of big fish, but no, it's full of large fish, 153. I know many people have tried to find significance in that number, but we'll leave that. It doesn't really matter. 153 fish, big fish. Peter, by himself, sprung to action, pulled the net in. I wonder how much that weighed. It must have been hundreds of pounds. Must have been a pretty strong dude. So here, in come the fish, Peter, the net. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." What a wonderful, loving invitation. Jesus was always inviting. Come and see. Come follow me. Come and have breakfast. Imagine them coming to that morning shore with a fire going and sitting around, gathering there, realizing it's Jesus. Come and have breakfast. It says none of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord, so they all knew it was Jesus. I wonder, what would you be feeling like? I guess by questioning him, maybe it means more like, what happened, Jesus? Or why did this all happen? And they knew in their hearts. They had too much reverence to ask. Maybe also they were feeling ashamed because they had forsaken him. Peter had denied him. They had all fled. So who knows what they were thinking, but Jesus reached out in love, made breakfast for them. And it says Jesus came, took the bread, gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the third time Jesus appeared to his disciples after he was raised from the dead. That's a wonderful story. So much in there. An example of Jesus' love for his disciples, his love for the common people, for things like water and sun, for fishing, for nature, for food, for breakfast by the seashore with fish, for animals. So, Jesus is the answer for everything and appears in the world around us. And we shouldn't be scared to engage with him and to listen to his invitation to come and to be fishers of men, but to still partake in life in the world and to spread the good news. So let's try this again. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll try. Let's try the net on the other side here. It'd be kind of cool if this worked, wouldn't it? You've got to have faith. Got to have faith here. Because if we get some herring, who knows what's next? A nice big striper. Oh well. Well, God bless you all. Keep fishing. Keep following Jesus. There's such hope and joy in the gospel. I've got to go down the shore there where the kids are and see if Remy got stuck down there chasing pebbles. But have a wonderful week. God bless you all.